Pikita, how do you feel today? This is how you really look at me, you know? Thanks for that pause there, Pikita. We're gonna go ahead. She's still staring at me. Ow. Where is my water? Is all the way over there. Let me get it. It's not like there's much. So we started with the Mother of the Universe, and it says, I release all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of who I am. And that was a whole process within itself. I just really am connecting with the eyes of each of these archetypes, these divine feminine. The next is embodiment is the deepest bliss. My body was made for enlightenment. This is also the love and balance that I found in my vessel. It represents a deep wisdom that has been much misunderstood. She's the ultimate spiritual wisdom that the human body is all that is needed for enlightenment. Yes, she was born a princess in Tibet in 777 CE. According to legend, she was born in the same way as the Buddha. A mantra resounded, and her mother gave birth to Yeshe painlessly. Her name means wisdom lake queen because at the moment of her birth, a nearby lake doubled in size, symbolizing her tremendous wisdom, her waters of enlightenment. From a young age, Yeshe only wanted to practice the Dharma instead of getting married. But the emperor of Tibet gave her to Padmasambhava, who had traveled to Tibet from India to spread the Buddhist teaching. He became her main consort and husband, and together they each founded their own lineages of Buddhist teachings. She spent many years isolated in meditation and accomplished several cycles of tantric spiritual practices. She received esoteric initiations and became known as a fully enlightened Buddha in the form of an ordinary woman. She is also considered to be an incarnation of Vajrayogini, and her husband predicted that she would reincarnate as the legendary Tibetan Buddhist tantric teacher and yogini, Machik Labdrön. Pronunciation is not whatever. It can be so easy to forget that everything we touch, everything we say, and everything we do is not separate from the divine. Yeshe embodied one of the most potent spiritual truths. The female body is an asset to enlightenment, not a hindrance. The body is a vehicle to free us from the idea that there are any limitations to reality. Tantra, which weaves together the sacred and the mundane to reveal the spiritual nature of all things, allowed Yeshe to realize that she was born an ordinary woman and an incarnation of the Buddha, Vajrayogini. We are both human and divine. We are both a mortal body and an eternal essence that continues on. The body too often can be the scapegoat for so much hate, distrust, and violence. The body holds infinite wisdom, pleasure, and possibilities. This is the moment to see your gorgeous body as the tremendous gift it is. It is the moment to realize that there is no greater intoxication than just being fully in your body, from head to soul. Yeshe is the call to remember the holiness of your flesh and the deep wisdom your body contains, and the temple you walk around in every day. The soul voice meditation says, what helps me remember that my body is sacred? Intention. Embodiment is the deepest bliss. My body was made for enlightenment. I just really resonated so deeply. And then the last, must have been just, okay. The Princess of Mercy, which is just one of my spirit guides, so shout out. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful, okay? So I had a spirit guide who was on this physical plane, and they passed, and so they were therefore no longer physically walking around on this plane in the same vessel. And in that exact moment that I lost what was like a pretty massive energy in my life at that time, in that cycle, I received in another partnership pretty much like an exact trade-off. So it was a stormy time in the moment, but objectively was what has led me to live the life that I live now, which is in total devotion to my path and partnership and community and my soul maintenance. I don't know, you know what I mean? So when I had to give something that was so special, an energy that was so special to me, back to the cosmos, you know, I had to remember that in giving that energy, I too would be receiving in another capacity, and that the energy of the universe is merciful. Like, the universe is not trying to make me suffer, you know? And I think that is such a beautiful, and so who is she? Mao Shan represents the incarnation and fulfillment of mercy. Oh my God. She was a Chinese princess who is believed to have lived during the Tang Dynasty in 618 to 907, and to have been the incarnation of the goddess Kuan Yin. She was the daughter of a king who wanted her to marry a wealthy man in order to secure more wealth and power for himself. When she refused, the king sent her to live in a monastery on a scheduled island off the coast of China. When the king found out that Mao Shan had transformed the barren island into a paradise, he got so angry that he ordered the monastery to be burned to the ground. Reasonable, yeah. But when Mao Shan saw the monastery in flames, she prickled the tip of her tongue with a hairpin and magically summoned a storm and put out the fire. Period. The king then ordered Mao Shan's execution. Okay, so there we go. But no blade or sword could kill her. Instead, each weapon shattered into pieces before touching her body. Of course. After several attempts, a gorgeous, glowing white tiger appeared and spirited Mao Shan away. The tiger took her to meet Yama, the ruler of hell. Mao Shan immediately heard the suffering of the souls all around her, and one by one she liberated them with the fierce power of her empathy. Yama had to send Mao Shan away because she was transforming hell into heaven. He gave her the peach of longevity as a gift. Mao Shan meditated for many years on the island of Putuyo Shan. News reached her that the king was on the verge of death and that he needed the eyes and arms of a person without anger in order to live. Mao Shan gave him her eyes and arms. Wow, okay. The king was revived and came to honor the person who had saved his life. When he saw that his savior was Mao Shan, he fell to his knees, humbled by the extent of her mercy. When your soul selects this card, the author Sue Monk Kidd articulates the process of empathy so clearly when she writes, "Empathy is the most mysterious transaction that the human soul can have. And it's accessible to all of us, but we have to give ourselves to the opportunity to identify, to plunge ourselves in a story where we see the world from the bottom up or through another's eyes or heart." You get me? Empathy is mercy's twin sister. When we can feel into the reality of someone else's suffering, we open up to the possibility of mercy. And as I lost this like merciful energy in my life, I received this other energy that allowed me to commit to a path of empathy. I went into someone else's story, i.e. my fiance. I just went into his story and into his world and saw the injustices he faced and saw the development he had before him. And I was just excited to step by that and stand by that and then watch that develop. And through this connection, with my partner, I feel the closest to one of my deceased best friends. Like it's a crazy connection, it's a crazy lineage, but I really do feel like through celebrating the equity, that having empathy and showing mercy to things that take your energy, that has weight, that has healing powers. You know what I mean? Mercy comes from the old Etruscan merce, which means exchange. Oh my God, and there's a movie. Anyways, mercy is the embodiment of compassion. It can feel easy or even natural to have compassion for people who have never harmed us personally. But mercy is having compassion for someone who has. Mercy requires that we give something of ourselves, which is symbolized by Mao Shan giving her eyes and arms to the king. It can feel like a great sacrifice to be so giving towards someone who has given us nothing but suffering. Here's where the magic comes in. The law of the universe is merciful. The more we give, the more we receive. When the king realized the profound act of mercy his daughter bestowed on him, Mao Shan transformed into her true manifestation of the thousand-armed Kuan Yin. Mao Shan is a reminder that giving is the true receiving. When we refuse to release our anger towards someone, we're blocking the flow of the universe within us. We are not harming the person who harmed us by remaining angry. We are keeping ourselves from receiving the love and light that is already ours. Who can I give mercy to in this moment? Intention. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. I feel like that was a message to my divine feminine at this time. For real, because like it's been such a crazy energy, and I just kind of wanted to come in and like read some cards, you know what I mean? Like I really needed some of that direct guidance, so I felt like this is just a call to my divine feminine, because I just had a sensation where I felt like I just saw a lot more open up, you know what I mean? Like I just see that it could be so many things, because I'm just approaching things in such a different way. So we're going to just do some real tarot and read some real messages, but some off-the-cuff downloads about this energy, you know? It feels like really release the reluctancy to time, okay? Release the reluctancy to time, because we get it, you know? We'd all naturally love it to be fast-paced, but what is that? When you really get into that moment of the rigidity of needing it to be on a certain date, does that mean it's going to happen any faster? Like, does that mean that you're going to... No, like, you could get it done. So you can release the reluctancy to time, because it's not even going to be like a long time from now. You just need to chill, because you're going to be so much more impressed with yourself when you realize that the justice is that you were so much better than a lot of people, right? It wasn't just nobody knew about this opportunity, that's why you got it. No, it's like you stood up above a lot of people for a lot of things, bro. Justice, 3 of Wands. I'll show you what we got. We got the Justice card right here, bro. Look at that. Everybody migrating where they need to go, bro. In balance. In balance. 3 of Wands. Let's click up. Let's make a bank. The Moon, bro. The Moon in reverse. The Empress in reverse. So let's read some cards. So, sorry, I was just taking a moment to really process this energy. Because it's like the Empress in reverse, you know, that creativity that we don't know we have. Like, the baby's just ready to come out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be angled properly, but it is really ready for what it's ready for. And I think this is about weighing your options to see what's going to harmonize the best and stoke the internal flame, because the Moon in reverse is like, this is the revelation, you know? This is where it could all really come together, because my needs are so immediate and so small term. Like, I think that Yeah, this is interesting. This is interesting. It's even more, and we'll get clarified about each of these so we can know, but then we got the Hermit. Strawberry Moon, maybe? The Knight of Wands. The Queen of Discs. The Emperor's still at the bottom of the deck. So let's just clarify. Justice. Let's clarify this Justice card. The Pain. The pain of the Five of Swords. The pain of someone not being open. You know, if someone's at the Five of Swords, you're getting swords. You know what I mean? And there's going to need to be some sort of justice for that experience. Then there's the Five of Cups in reverse, which is feeling your way through this process of trying to find a partnership and attract partnership, you know. You've got to really feel your way through this opportunity, because what you want and what you're expecting is this. So if you're seeing disappointment or if things aren't moving like what you want, like, keep moving, keep growing towards the light. Keep feeling your way through, you know. Keep making options for you to choose your truth all the time, because you can just keep doing that. And then you can maybe just make a lot more opportunity for yourself, because if you know you're hot, it's probably not just one place that wants that. As I say, if you know you're hot, oh my God. If you know you're hot, it's probably not just one place that wants that. There's 9 cups, 9 offers behind you. This person's emotionally abundant because everybody wants it at all times. There's a line out the door. This is like an artist that's just like in demand. And so then this energy here is about living the rest of your life out with your own God strength. This is just soul tribe, you know what I mean? This is a refined lifestyle. All this came out for the Moon in reverse. So what gets revealed is that yeah, dude, there's a lot. You're setting it up so that there's a lot to pick from. It's going to be at least 6 of these things that feel like soul contracts. And you're going to feel like you know, like literally on the other side of your time, on the other side of like whatever, dude, like on the other side of what you feel like is your own impatience and my own limitations to not even want to read this message, but knowing I need to work on myself right now, like, is this, dude. You getting it coming from 9 different places, you know? You could go 9 different ways. Like, that's how much, like, it's reinforcing how much you are the shit. You are the thing. The universe is opening its purse for you. All because of this, like, this harmony, this mastery, this skillful harmonizing. That's the revelation. On the other side of, it's got to happen today. Well, does it really have to happen today? Page of Wands. Page of Wands. I mean, the Page of Wands is like, I just like saw like someone going into like real estate, or like going into a profession right after you like graduate from the school. Like you just passed the bar, so like you're, you know what I mean? Like the Page of Wands, the pages are not jokesters. They're just like the beginning phase of like a kingdom, you know? Or queendom. So to be at the Page of Wands, which means you are a magician. Essentially all Page of Wands are just like newly like accredited magicians. When it gets revealed that that's what you are, when people just see that you're receptive, that you want to attract, that you're attractive and you want to be attracted, you want to be attracting things in, this is what Spirit's trying to guide you to do. It should feel like you've got, like, well, it could be a lot of different ways, though. Because right now I'm in reception mode, you know what I mean, for what I've accomplished. I have a standard. I know I should have a lot of things to, like, I should have a lot of diversity in my renewals, my replenishments, you know? I should have a lot to choose from. Because like, look at the confidence. The affirmation of having all those offers right behind you. Picking amongst them. It's the revelation. It's something about like the moon in reverse. Like, it's like, that's what gets revealed, and it has something to do with you being like this Page of Wands that says like, okay, hey, like, I'm young, attractive, and getting it. Like, who's trying to holler? Who's trying to holler? 9 of Pentacles. This is the vibe right now. We talked about this yesterday, but it's clarifying the Hermit who, look, bro, he just made some magic, some fire magic happen. He's using like the reflection of the sun. I almost picture it as, you know how like you can take like a glass, like a microscope, and you can put it in the sun and then direct the light down and like carve and etch into things. I feel like that's what he's harnessing with this moon or planetary like energy or light fuel. Because this Hermit is guiding himself. So you're going to be doing like this, like your compass, your guiding light, your fuel is that you are going to have all the like prerequisites. You're going to have those boundaries. You're going to be guiding yourself through navigating your total financial independence, and it's gonna literally just come from you like being like, okay, now that the secret's out, like I'm going to cultivate a lot of different things, because it could be a lot of different things. I could tell myself, it could, like, a thought is only a thought, I'm thinking a lot, so I could tell myself like there's only one job that I could do, or I could tell myself there are many jobs that I could do, and that I could find like a really happy medium in a lot of different spaces. Death card, right? The change in the death and the rebirth in that. And having to be like, oh, okay, kill any consciousness where I just think like, oh my God, that's what it's going to be. Because it's probably not. Like, bro, we're talking about our scorpionic influence. It's purifying the vision, taking out the toxicity of how you try to manifest it, which is the manipulative parts of it. The parts of you that are just like obsessing over something that, I mean, yeah, it's like objectively cool, but it's not. It's like, it's you, baby. Like, it's like you are the... Might I remind you, what was revealed with the moon, the Scorpio moon, is how valuable you are. How many people should be making offers to you? So it's really death to always shortchanging ourselves, always trying to chase after this like one track thing at a time. When you start to attract from an understanding of your own energy and your own space, death comes in and sweeps up all of that. You know what I mean? So, Knight of Wands, now you're really like law of attraction, day in, day out. Wow. 3 cards that all say, look at this, the moon, competition, Ace of Wands. Oh my God. Despite the fear, despite feeling like, oh man, there's all these other people who might be called to the same place, right? Like when you're like applying somewhere and there's like 500 other people who applied for this, and you're like, okay, the likelihood, what's the point of, but Do you see how your shaft here pales in comparison? Like, this competition looks so small in comparison to your hand, right? And this is about what you're attracting. This is what they're trying to manifest. Someone who shows up largely, because I'm also, like, right in this process of rebuilding my life. I'm incorporating my divine feminine. Like, if there are things my divine feminine can get me, you know what I mean? Like, because I love myself and I take care of myself, and I'm like, I'm conscious about what I'm giving myself in any moment. Like, if there are perks for my general upkeep of myself that make people be like, oh, I just like her whole vibe. Well, that's perks that the divine feminine can accrue just by divine feminine. You know what I mean? Like, so we're using all of those tactics. But I think that's what makes this such a big offer, even if it feels like, oh gosh, like there's shadow, because it's like, I know there's competition and look, there's probably like 50 other people, but it's like, yeah, but like, remember where you are and what's going on and what, you know what I mean? Like, what's happening, you know? Just like, remember what's really, really happening. And you appear, like, the opportunity appears like amongst the rubble too. This is also committing to the fact that, like, there will be all this. This also could just be like the people who are like, once you're revealed, like the who's gonna get the offer? Who am I gonna sign on the dotted line for? That's what the Knight of Pentacles is gonna get to choose. Clarifying the Queen of Discs. Oh my God. Oh my God, wow. Oh my God, wow. Oh my God, wow. And in this way, you have completely secured. You have manifested from Malkut to your third dimension. You have brought this down. You have brought the authentic you. You have integrated the light body, and it is now in the physical. And now it is a part of the universe. This is something physical that will make you feel like you are actually now a part of this universe. And so you are now able to get into the energy of being given to and receiving. Whereas before it felt like paving the way to planet Earth, like where you were was always so cut off from your third dimensional reality. And this is being butt-ass naked in the middle of the place as the star all the time. Like, isn't that what you want? To be fixated as the star, being given to and received? Like, it's just the perfect balance. I can't even believe that. And then at the bottom of the deck is the Knight of Pentacles. The Empress is like, it's time for the baby. The Empress in reverse is like, it's time for the baby to come out. It's time for you to get this. Like, keep reaching until you get this. You know what I mean? Keep pushing until we get this. Until we get it delivered here. Because look what's coming out. You're going to just be the Queen of Discs. The one who manifested a direct road from their, like, internal world to their external world. This is the road between your astral plane, between you and astral. And that's what you're going to be doing, a direct pipeline to the world around you, and you're going to be getting paid for it. Whatever it is, dude, it's just going to be a direct pipeline. Like, you're going to be, your heart space is going to be projecting, broadcasting star energy. And there will be compensation for just that. And remember, we started with this sappy, soapy ass energy that's like Three of Swords and, you know, injustice this and injustice that, and we're always waiting on something else to balance out. That's why we're sitting here miserable. And then it comes time to start seeing our ships come in, and all we can see is the problem and the issue, and we're really needing to open up to the fact that you need to just let it disappoint you. Just be disappointed by it, because you are not nearly aware enough to realize how special you really are. How sought after you really are. Create that reality. Go for the things, the places that are going to be like, okay, well, like, we kind of like you because you're attractive. We like see the strength that you have, you know? Because you're like cutting through people's consciousness. you're like running into people they're like, whoa, how are we getting able to see this? They feel that, like, whoa, this is a moment. That's why they're coming in to make the offers. So if you're not seeking to make like 9 offers, like if you're not setting yourself up for that kind of reality right now, like keeping it open, it's Gemini season, it's the duality, it's like really looking at and analyzing the data to set ourselves up to discern how we feel about those results in Cancer, and move with conviction in Leo, and then derive like a higher consciousness and a hierarchy and a discrimination between the value, and Virgo and Libra is about imparting diplomacy and things like that, and Scorpios when we need to prune a few things, you know, we need to get clear on how we want to regenerate. Sagittarius is the high consciousness that's left, that just can soar and travel and expand because they are so tolerant. Capricorn is when that leads you to you becoming the boss of someplace, somewhere, and somehow you're just at the top of something and you've got to break through. You've got to push yourself out of your comfort zone because there is still better. And then you go to Aquarian, which is the superhuman, you know, and the servant of the human race. And then you go on to Pisces, which is of flesh and spirit, you know. And that felt like the rundown we needed to talk about. But, you know, to go from, you know, I almost didn't even want to read. I was like, ugh. This is justice for a heartbreak you experienced, where you weren't expecting a disappointment, but received one, and we're having to then now pull or look for strength. But in pulling that strength and trialing by fire, people will see your God strength and are pulling up. If you open up the receptor, they want to give you the renewal. They want to offer that up to you. But just like try to like bust it open. You know what I mean? Try to let them know that you want to be offered to. Because they're coming in. There will be commitment made. There could be history made, you know? Because then we go into the Hermit, right? Who has mastered like certain bending of laws of physics and using light as heat and pressure and wizardry. It's just like the Merlin energy. And because you're focused on following that little flame, you're just gonna dance in all these offers. It's almost like you're gonna find a way to like make all this pinnacle energy exist by opening up, allowing the disappointment to like really penetrate so that you could be transformed into the most attractive like money, opportunity, emotional renewal magnet based off your God strength, that you're actually able to physically ground down and adorn a new reality here. And then it comes time to figuring out what you want to attract. After you've done all of that, then it just comes time to select of all the competing offers. Of all the people who say the stars aligned for us and I want to offer you something, who are you picking? Well, it's this Ace of Wands. And that's who the Knight of Wands is trying to alchemize and receive. And it looks like mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. It's gonna be my vibe right now. Again, astral projecting, broadcasting your heart space out and projecting real authenticity that leads you to like a check.
the Empress is ready to give birth. The Empress has been ready. Overcooked. Like, go find what's gonna accept what's walking up. And that's on period. You've already done the work to set your boundaries. So you've only been seeking out that which aligns with those values. So whatever comes in your time frame, you know, I mean, in a time, not real time, but I mean, like, in your frame of relativity and movement, trust and believe that that knight is here to take you out of the Five of Pentacles, rehabilitate you to show off your magic trick, get you secure again, feeling good about you, heal you up emotionally, you know, long silk robes, allow for all this information to come in, all the insight, all the clout, and then boom, you're able to offer your cup and, you know, things like that. So then Judgment's coming up, and then it's like truth communication. It's beautiful. So another Divine Femme message. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be another one of those readings where, like, 2 days from now or some shit, I'm going to be like, what the fuck? How did I channel this? And right now it's kind of like a head empty, like, sort of deal. But, you know, I'm trying. You know, I can't say that today I didn't make some progress or open opportunities or open channels of receptivity. Don't even say that I have any opportunities yet. As you can tell, I have to pee again. But open the channels of receptivity to receive something bigger. So, fingers crossed.